through it and we'll understand then quickly. Okay, so no problem. So let's try and understand here. So, what happens is a lot of time we feel that on the screen, if you can see me, just confirm if you can see my screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So, everyone knows they're part of the event. So, this is one of the very common jargon you will hear it in the corporate world. So, it is impossible to design a system when you can completely see and measure it. You feel that, okay, I am very well versed with the system. I'm very well versed what exactly the subject look like or the project looks like. And the moment you can visualize and you can see it, then it becomes really impossible to design. So that's one of the biggest challenge you will find. Okay. The second element of what you will find also is that the services needs to get co-created to save your cost money and to reduce the risk and bring the brand value of an organization. So sometimes we have to give a tailor-made approach to the customers, and the services becomes very difficult to put it into the tailor-made sometimes. And there itself it becomes very difficult to measure. It also becomes another challenging. Why? Because service is something which we call it as an attribute, and attribute cannot be measured most of the time. So what we do is we put it into a measurable element. So let's try and understand this bit of the service design with the service design. So if I have to ask anyone, what exactly service design as per you, what comes in your mind? Anyone? Maybe you can unmute yourself and then you can tell me what exactly the service design is all about.
Ma'am, service design is basically the design that in what certain ways a service needs to be delivered to the customer.
Okay, perfect. Very nice.
Ma'am,
Some.
I think that service design is activity or a planning, uh, or like planning or organizing people, communication, different material components of a service, so that like the quality of the service and interaction with the service provider, interaction between the service provider and customer can be more clear.
All right. Okay, that's another nice thought I got. Okay, maybe someone else would like to give a highlight onto it. Service
Ma'am,
design.
I feel like service design is basically how you wanted to structure your service and how you wanted. So there is a way that you wanted your service to be for the
Hmm.
customers. Like if you get into a restaurant, so there is every restaurant has a different uh, means of catering customers, right? So they
Right.
have designed their service like that. That once some are there where there is menu on the table already, and then there are other ways where waiter literally interact with you very nicely and gets on to you to ask you about what you prefer, or he tells you about the famous dishes of the restaurant or something like that. So
Hmm.
every restaurant has designed their service like that, so I feel like that is something called service design.
Okay. Yeah, very quietly well said. So let me just sum it up for all of you, the way all three of you have shared. So service design is, I would say, it's a practice result in the design of a system and the processes. Okay, and the aim is to provide a holistic service to the users. So users are we all, the customers. So when I say holistic, it's basically a multidisciplinary, it's integrative, it's approaching and problem solving from the system based perspective and not from the customer perspective. That's very important to understand. So why does a customer when we call it service design matter, especially when so much of what we design these days is focused on the digital experience, and we all know that everything is so digitized nowadays. Now this is because the most important things to remember is that nothing exists in vacuum, let me tell you guys. So everything, what I'm saying here is it lives within a large ecosystem with the respective external interaction influences and the various factors in an organization. So service design, as very simply shares, it's an activity of planning, organizing people, infrastructure, communication, and so on. Right. So here you will find that services are a means of delivering values to customers by facilitating the set of outcomes. Now, here the customer wants to achieve the services without the ownership of having a specific cost and risk. So you will find that service actually facilitates various kind of outcomes which enhances the performance, which is actually associated with the set of tasks and reducing the effects of constraint. So you will find that in service we end up design the entire process or system that will examine the value and the experience from a multi-users perspective. So it could be customers, it could be staff, it could be business, and it is a very large agnostic to channel and the medium and the connect the experience delivery to the operations. So that's why you will find it looks easy, but it is a very tedious task. And in that you will find the service design shares many tools and methods with the other human centered design field. Now these design fields, you will find people come with a set of experience, and they use different approaches into the complexity, into the multi-dimension, and creates a touch point and experience for the people. Now this you might be finding, oh my god, what are heavy words that we have, but let me put it in a very simple manner. So when we talk about the services, we have four elements into the services, right? The first one is the core, which is the center point. The second one is the enabling, okay? That is the element to it. The third one, which enhances, and the fourth one is the recovery. Now, when I talk about the core is core service which delivers the basic outcome which is desired by one, or in fact I would say every customer. Now this is the basic that I expect out of it. So they represent the value of the customer's want and which they were willing to pay for. So just to give an example, the Netflix is providing a service with the it's a kind of a OTTR. So everybody wants a different kind of streaming which can be easily watched by the every set of customers. So they have a different kind of segment, and accordingly they are servicing us. So that's the core basic product, right? And that's how the servicing element is also coming in. Now these service anchors the value proposition to the customers, and it is basically goes on to the continued utilization and satisfaction. The second one is the enabling services. Now, when I talk about enabling services, these services are added to the core service, which makes more exciting stuff. So Netflix, giving Netflix party as a concept. So how many have seen or be a part of Netflix party? Can you just tell me yes or no? How many have done Netflix party?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Ad
Okay.
coming that on 5th and 6th Netflix is for free. It's Netflix party and all. But yeah,
Yeah.
taken
Okay.
part to it.
Okay. So I mean, honestly, so that's an enhancing service, and you all must explore this, because you'll find you all get together, you sit in a, with your family and friends. So and then you all are streaming one particular movie and they are watching it their home and you're watching at your place, and then you all are chatting together. So it's an enhancing service which is provided. Right. And here another element is the enabling. So enabling services are the which are needed in order to support the core services that needs to be delivered. Those are mostly you will find is not visible to the customers, right? So that's how the enabling comes up. And then you find there is a recovery element. So that's the last stage where you are just not happy, and then how you want to recover the customers. So this is how the four element goes. Now when we talk about the service design per se,
Ma'am,
so
can you
there
explain enabling element once again? Because
enabling,
enhancing is the way you told that how they are enhancing their current
yeah,
services like the party thing. So
yes,
enabling services क्या होती हैं?
ओके एक सिंपल एग्जांपल से बताती हूँ. कुकर यूज करते हैं हम लोग. आर यू ऑल ओके विथ हिंदी इफ आई कम्युनिकेट इन हिंदी?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect.
Yes,
Yes,
We
ma'am.
all
ma'am.
use cooker, है ना? Cooker use करते हैं हम,
Yes,
right?
ma'am.
है ना? अभी उसमें ISI मार्क कभी किसी ने देखा है?
Yes, ma'am.
वेरी गुड. अब ISI मार्क का आपसे कोई रेलेवेंस है एज अ कस्टमर से?
Ma'am, it's for
Ma'am, just the quality part.
It's just a
quality
quality
part.
part.
Yes.
Are you ready to pay extra for that quality part? You feel that it's a mandatory the company should provide, isn't it? So
Yes, ma'am.
that is enabling services.
Okay. So,
Correct?
ma'am, for Netflix case, what would be the enabling services?
So you first of all, now you come and tell me what shall be the enabling services for the Netflix. Try to think from the customer's
Ma'am,
perspective.
HD experience जो भी वो provide कर रहे हैं.
बिल्कुल.
Plus,
और क्या हो सकता है?
plus it should be the way they say that we provide personalized services to everybody. So that
Okay.
should be another
That should be
part.
one. So you have a
Yeah.
personal, so when you go into the Netflix, you have a personal screening, where you can go to your account and you can watch as
Yes.
per your, requirement or as per whatever you want to watch it. And others
Plus,
cannot intervene that particular domain. So
yes,
that's a
and
enabling
plus
service.
the new shows that are coming up, तो वो होने चाहिए उस पे भी because we are paying for those only.
We are paying for those also. Correct. अब जैसे अब उसी में ही होता है ना, जैसे for an example, in my Netflix account, 3 people can have a different screen time. So what Anubha is watching right now, and in another one, what my husband is watching, so even he will not get to know what exactly I am watching. So that is becomes my service. That becomes my space. That is what the enabling service Netflix is providing. We
Yes,
good?
ma'am.
Super. Okay. Can I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Superb. So, as I was mentioning about the processes, the service design element. Now, there are 5 P's, okay? And so in marketing, we say 4 P's or in fact 6 P's and so on. The same very way in the service design, we have respective P's. So, a good way to understand service design is when you simply put it by reversing the word of service design to design service. आप इसको उल्टा कर दीजिए. So rather than saying service design, let's say designing services. Okay. Now this it's very important to understand because the objective and the holistic approach absolutely changes the moment you say design services. Okay. So the design process looks at a business internal infrastructure. It includes the aspect of service which is being delivered to the customers. So service design will vary from business to business, let me tell you. So this will be influenced by your various external factors, internal factors. It can be understanding the leader's vision and perspective also. So if you will ask me personally, the 4 P's, the people, process, product and partner. Okay, so I am not touching here right now, which is place. So place is something which everybody considers. It's just a standard element. So I will not focus on the place. So when I say product, it is known as a let's say technological element. So what here I would like to know what can be good, what could not be good. So here it's very important to understand the product aspect. I always relate 5 P's with the another aspect that is called performance. Because when you use the word performance with all the P's, you will see end of the day, the leaders or the organization start looking at from that particular angle. Okay. So here the performance it's a very pivotal point, or I would say a central axis of the model. So it revolves around the performance of the organization, which is has a deliverable to add value to the respective service design which you are coming up with. So always important here is all the aspect of your piece, which is could be related to your process. So how well my process is performing, if I'm using any kind of props, is it giving the right kind of signals, and is it producing this correct service encounters or not. When we talk about the product, it's exactly in the same aspect that how the moment of services is coming across to the customers. And finally the partnership that If I am associated with the other departments or verticals, so are they actually addressing me or helping me out or not? So in a very simplistic manner, in the quality word, what we say is the output of one process becomes the input of another process. So that means if the 2 or 3 departments are interlinked, it should be very well service encountered. So that is how the partnership element brings in. To give you a very simple example into the service aspect, if we talk about medical, okay, so you go to the hospital. Now, if you enter the hospital, the moment they will make your chart that you are going to, admit. So till the time you don't make the basic payment, okay, till that they will not give you the particular bed. So and number of tests which is required. So here you will find that the entry in the hospital who makes the entire admin process, right, that is purely dependent on the output which the nurse get. So that is how everything gets linked, and what doctor see is that what nurse actually make the entire chart, and then the doctor is going to see in a very detailed manner. This is how the things work. When we talk about in a manufacturing sector, let's say I'm into a car manufacturing, I don't produce tires, but let's say I'm working with Maruti and my association is with JK tires, or let's say CA tires. So the moment my car is ready almost, and now I have to fix the tires, the service element will become, the design will become in such a manner that they will get a hit. The JK tires will get a pop-up that yes, the Maruti needs 5 tires right now. So they immediately supply it. So the design becomes very interconnected, and that is how we check the performance. Are we good with this? Okay, so here let's try and understand how the service design process works. So we know that there is a customer, there is a service provider, and then we have to take care of the service delivery. Okay, now in this entire service concept, it works with the respective service experience that I have with the respective target customer. We bring in the physical item and physiological benefit that leads to a performance specification in terms of the customer requirement and customer expectation. Now these two words, the what customer expects and what is the customer requirement, we really need to understand this very strongly. So here, if you will ask me, in a service design process, in the service concept, the purpose of service, it is defined by the target market and the customer experience. And in this, you have a service package which is a mixture of your physical element, your essential benefits, and that's what I mentioned about the your physiological benefits, and the specification which highlights on the design specification and delivery specification. Now in this entire aspect, let's understand what are the key things that we have to take care. The first, understanding. Understand all the people who have a relationship with your service and delivery insight. You need to get the insight by either doing a user interview, or by doing a participant observation, or by doing a user workshop. You will be so surprised that whenever any product is coming up, people actually want to know how it will be serviced, what the customers are basically expecting. They go into the very detailed orientation to it. So you will find that the understanding company culture and goal, or else identifying the real problem, or else visualizing the findings, the service structure of the company, this becomes a very important aspect of your, what we call as understanding. Right now, with that understanding, once we have the understanding what my company is offering, or what is the values of the company, or what is the current problem that we're facing, or what a customer really expect, the second step is describing the service ecology. So here you need to establish a bird eye view of the service that includes all the actors which is going to be affected in the relationship between them. So it creates a service ecology map. You connect various, I would say, actors within the service. If there are 10 people are associated, so they all should be well connected with each other. And if there is a mismatch, trust me, then it's gone. It's like it doesn't get a very great element to it. So for creating a service ecology, how you can create a service ecology map by creating a service blueprint. Okay, so I'm going to share a blueprint in some time. So the blueprint will talk about the user journey. It is like phase by phase, step by step, you will get to know how the user will be. Then you will have a touch points, which is by channel. And if I'm touching one point to the another point, how the customer will feel. Then there is a backstage process. So in that backstage process, which is talking about the stakeholders and what action those stakeholders take. So in this, you will find that the prototype or the pilot studies done to validate the service. And sometimes you will find we use the recommended tools like storyboards, design scenarios. We also ask the question called what if, that's another aspect. Then we have service staging, so absolutely you will find the people are doing it. Now, to have this, let me give you one practical orientation here. We use the concept of, when we design the process, we call RACI. RACI. And this is a very common acronym and a jargon. You will, hear it in the corporate world the moment you will be a part of it. RACI is nothing but an acronym for the four main, being the role being which is being there. The R is responsible, which is who's the person or who are the people who will be responsible for the correct execution for getting the job done. That's what responsibility. So, for an example, in today's session, if Manpreet ma'am and her team, has decided to have this particular session. So there is a service design which has already been made by FIIB. And in that, they have understood and made it very clear who will be responsible for getting this task executed. So the responsible person is currently on this particular scenario is Manpreet. Okay. Then here, how many tasks would be there which has to be taken care? So we know that there has to be IT which is going to be involved. There has to be a person who needs to be informed and which needs to be consulted. So this is how we think up. Okay. The second one is accountable. So the person who has the ownership of quality and end results. The person can be accountable for each and every task of it. So anybody who is on that particular domain becomes the accountable approach. Third one is consulted. Okay, that is C. So now these people who are consulted and those whose opinion are sought, so they involve through the input of the knowledge and the information. Now, how do they do that? They get in touch with the respective people. So even for that matter, students needs to be consulted that what exactly are you looking at. So that's also become a consulted approach. Then we have informed. Informed is the people who are needs to be updated on the progress of the project or about the information and the quality of it, of the execution bit. So maybe tomorrow, once the session is over or when the session is executed, so we inform the leader of FIIB, okay, this session is on and it's been executed by this manner and XYZ. So the information has to go on. Now, very important here is, you will find that we sometimes can wear two different hats. I can be accountable also, I can be a responsible person also. Okay, so again, it depends on the product to product, process to process, design to design, service to service. There is another two element I would like to highlight here on is, which is also so many times you will hear, they will say RACI VS. Okay, now the VS is nothing but verifies the person or the group that checks whether the acceptance criteria have been met or not. So the verification has been come by a respective person. So there is a creator and then there is a verifier. In the banking sector, you will find this mandatory. So any transaction is not processed till the time there is a verifier. So one who creates it, the second who verifies it, and that's how the transaction gets completed. The last one, when we say in the project, which we call it as a sign off. The person who approves the verifies decision is authorized the final service handover. this could be XYZ person. So that person gives the sign off. Okay, it's absolutely fine. Mostly it's been seen that the leaders are at this particular role who will do it. Are we good till now, everyone? Any query, any question here? Are we good?
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Thanks, Ria, for confirming. Any query, any question? Because if you have any, you can put it on the chat box also, but maybe I can see it in some time. And all right, so let me proceed then further. Okay, so let me now talk about the important consideration for the service innovation. Now, what happens is that we keep doing a lot of innovation in the services, and something new needs to be provided. So, you will find the basic five principle in the corporate, the service design thinking comes in. It's kind of a, you will say, a design thinking approach. So here you will find a user centered, which is like services should be experienced and designed through the customer's eye. So whatever I'm doing, whatever I'm creating, I have to understand what customers are really considering and looking at. Absolutely on that. They should be the most, using your product in a more user friendly manner, and they should be more satisfied. So that's the user centered approach. The second element is the co-creative. Here it needs to be included into the design process where, who all stakeholder would be a part of it. The third is the sequencing. It is like it's like interrelated, entangled in such a manner that if I do this, then this comes. If I do this, then this comes. So everything is so very well connected. Then finally, we have evidencing. Here, the intangible services should be visualized in terms of the physical, artifact. So there has to be a strong evidence about whatever intangible services that you're giving. They should have a great benefit to the customer, and it should evidently come out. Uh, Lastly, holistic approach. It should be considered into the entire environment for an organization so that you come across as a very great innovative approach in your services. And that's why you'll find sometimes it becomes very, very difficult and challenging. So let's try and understand here now furthermore is, as I mentioned about the service blueprint in the service design concept, right? So what exactly is the blueprint? Okay, if I have to ask you, what comes in your mind when the moment I say this word blueprint? Anyone can tell me.
The outline may that is a
Yes,
blue.
outline, that's a blueprint. Okay, okay. Something else probably? Anyone else would like to highlight on the blueprint? Yes. Maybe Tarun, you would like to highlight what exactly is blueprint? Okay, maybe Pulkit. Does anyone know what exactly blueprint is all about?
Ma'am, blueprint is a like roughly idea of your whole process.
A rough idea of your whole process.
Yeah.
Okay, Asif, as you mentioned the rough idea, can you say that if I make a rough sketch of any process of service, it will be very well executed by the customer service officer in a real manner to the customers? If it's a rough print.
Yes, ma'am. If it is you finalized your idea,
Hmm. Okay,
then
so
it
once
is
you finalize the idea,
great.
yes, that's a nice thought. Once you finalize the thought, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, great thought. So let's try and understand here what exactly is the blueprint aspect. Okay, so blueprint is basically you will find that when you are delivering a service to a customer, you may find it difficult to pinpoint just where things could be improved or where things are going wrong. We cannot get to know in service. But in product, when it is in a production or the moment the customers start using the product, I can easily make out. Right? But if I am doing something wrong during the services, it's very difficult for an organization or the setup to identify where exactly we had gone wrong. I'll give you one very good example here. I still remember at that time I was about to join ICICI Bank, and how many of you known Shikha Sharma, ma'am? Have you heard this leadership name, Shikha Sharma? Who was she? If you want to do a Google also, you can do that. I have no problem. Because I'm going to give you real life experience and example here. Yes. Does anyone know Shikha Sharma?
Uh,
Yeah, sir.
see,
बताइए.
I just Google it.
हाँ हाँ हाँ, अच्छी बात है.
Who
Good,
was
you
the
googled.
Shikha Sharma, like who was the manager director or and CEO of Axis Bank?
Very good. Thank
Indian
you so much.
economist,
Very nice. So
Indian
before,
economist and banker.
yeah. Okay. So Shikha Sharma, as you rightly said, she was heading the Axis. Prior to it, she was with ICICI Bank, and she was heading the phone banking vertical. So what happened? I still remember. I'm talking about almost 1.5 decade back. Um, she got to know that the phone banking officers, the moment they were taking the call of the customers, they were not giving the correct information. So it used to be very casual. And what she did was, she said that let me scrap this entire phone banking officer system. So number of people who were working, let's say even 1,000 or 10,000, all were kind of asked to move out, and the phone banking officer was shut for good 2 to 3 months. I still remember. What she did was she hired a new set of resources. She designed the entire service design system, and she trained the entire team. And that concept of becoming a parrot, so moment when I say parrot, the customer is going to call, how you are going to speak to the customer, it got standardized. And from there, the new setup became very prominent, and it became live, and it was launched. And till date, the bank is doing phenomenally great. Now, why I am talking about this as an example here is that's the service blueprint is all about. So here you may find it difficult to pinpoint, as I said, that where I can go wrong. So she did a check through a mystery shopping and mystery calling. So you have to intervene at the right moment in the service process and provide a concrete answers that could make a big difference, where you can feel that something can go wrong if we don't intervene right now. So you need to innovate your service organization, and you run into the ground at a ground level. So service is a complex and a lot of multi-layered process which gets involved with a lot of people and technologies that works together. And you will find that yes, to work on that you need a big picture. For that picture, you need process, you need point of contact, and you need evidence. These are the three key factors. So the factors in this entire element is one of them is process. So process is so very important aspect in any service blueprint. And then who should be contacted? Who is the main point of contact? If anything goes wrong or if anything going good, I need to bring it to the notice of the leaders. So that is how the things work. Okay. Now, then we have a very important aspect here. Let's try and understand uh, is of your service blueprint component. Now, the service blueprint component you will find is you will have physical evidence, you will have a customer action, you will have a visible contact, which is in the line of visibility, you will have a invisible contact employee action, and you will have a support process. Okay, so in this you will find that how things works up. Yeah, sorry, I think it went on mute. So the service blueprint typically it contains 5 categories. It actually illustrates the main component and which gets mapped out. So the first one, as I mentioned here, which is on the screen, you will find is physical evidence. So what customers comes in contact, what kind of customers expectations are. Now this includes both internal customers and external customers. Both customers will come in, and then through the first in line, it's usually the last elements which gets added. So for example, in this category, you will include the location, like a physical store or a company website, or even also sometimes you will use the signages, receipt, notification, and in fact, for that matter, confirmation email. So these are all your physical evidence, right? The second one is customer interaction. Now, customer actions are what customers do during the service experience. Just to give an example, customers might visit the website and they talk to an employee. Either it could be in person or either it could be online. So you make a purchase, you place an order, you accept an order, or you receive something. So that's in customer action gets element to it. So the front stage or a visible employee action, you will find it is the next element. So what customers see, who they interact with, the tech heavy businesses gets added, what replacements that need to be done, how do we need to interact. So that is how the entire front stage or the visible employee action gets into. Then we have, let me put you into this example of your, when I talk about the visible contact, so employee might greet a customer, visiting a physical location. So you respond to questions through a chat or send them an email, you take an order, you provide what we call it, status information, right? So these are all your visible. There is something called invisible contact, which we also call it a backstage contact. Here, all employees' action, their preparedness, the responsible element who will be doing what, that gets considered. Example, employees might write content for the website, right? They provide approval, complete the review process, packages which gets an order, or you make a preparation for the customer. That's a backstage work, right? Then in the service blueprint, you will find there is a support process. Support process is an internal and additional activities which that actually helps by the employees to give them the various kind of services and how they will support. So you'll see the third party vendors who deliver supplies, they carry the services, equipment, or any software they have used, or for that matter a payment system or a delivery, you will find it, right? In this there is also called line aspect. Okay, lines approach, which is we call a very smartly line of internal interaction. Now in the line of interaction, the service blueprint actually needs to include the line which needs to separate each category, which clarifies how component in a service process interact with each other. So this allow employees and managers to better understand their role. Most important, the possible source of customer dissatisfaction within the service experience. So that is how it comes into the aspect. There are some optional categories also which I have seen in my experience. So if you need a more detail, you could also add a timeline to the show how long each step will take, and we measure it through TAT. You must have heard this word, turnaround time, right? So the TATs get added to every step so that we can actually measure. So as I mentioned into the service design aspect, the 5 P's, the performance will actually help you to measure and get to know about the aspect of your service design. So how well the process is going on. To give you a very simple example, here is let's say if we go to a branch, okay, and you want to get an account open, so the account should open in 2 days. So 2 days is a turnaround time, so we tell the customers accordingly. Now this I'm talking about almost like 7 years back, but as of today the accounts get open in 24 hours. So they tell you that in 24 hours we will do a respective due check, ma'am, and then it will be done. So the bank is actually at your doorstep. So that's an optional categories you will find in a service blueprint. So let me give you and show you an example which I have got it here. Very simply, for all of you, you can see how the blueprint looks like. We use a flow chart. You must be knowing that we use a various flow icon of decision, of the activity, of the arrows, or the decision point, the starting point, end point, that becomes very prominent. And in all the aspect of your physical, customer action, employee action, including the line of interaction, line of visibility, line of internal interaction, and the support process actually gets entangled with each other. Now, why do we need to do this? The benefit of this is basically, as I mentioned here, it is a scalable proposition. Now, before highlighting this, you will agree with me that services are aren't tangible. It's actually an intangible element, and it is very difficult to convince the decision makers and including the people working with you to create a change or to bring a change. Now it can be even more difficult to talk about the specific change without having actually a full picture about the process, that how it's going to benefit. So the visualization of each step, each interaction in the process will take away that vagueness and the highlights area for improvement. So this blueprint will actually empower organization to optimize their service processes. So, as I mentioned about the benefit, the scalability and flexibility. Indeed, that blueprint accommodate as much as a little detail as needed. They can show a high level overview of each intricate step which has got involved. The cross functionality and the knowledge transferability, that's the another benefit you will find. So the employees and the managers in a long standing or a complex process, they can easily lose the sight of a bigger picture and how each action affects the other departments, or for that matter fellow employees or even the customers. But the service blueprint actually clarifies the interaction and it reduces the silos. So people will be engaged with each other, they will be actually sharing the thought process, right? And then we have a competition. Competitions are basically the service blueprint. They allow you to compare what you want your service to look like with what it looks like in a current scenario, and how you can compare your company service with the competitors. So that's how the competition becomes very, very aspect into it. And definitely failure analysis. That's one analysis I have always loved, because you get to know, what exactly we are doing, and how we were thinking it was easier. But once we go into the diagnosing what's going wrong, it becomes very challenging. So you will find a lot of aspect to it. So the service blueprint creates a visible structure for implementing to achieve the operational goals. So their cross functionality likes fostering better communication, between the customers, employee, management, and you need to increase the chance that companies will understand their customers and respond their need. So that's how the things goes up. Any query, any question as of now? Anyone? Yes. Does anyone has any query or question? Yes.
I think
Any
it's
query,
fine.
any question?
I don't think they have any questions, Anubha. Maybe you can just go on.
Perfect. Okay. Thank you so much. So let me just move on. All right. So let's try and I'll just, yeah, my PPT. Okay. Now the important, let me give you the first step of the blueprint. There are 6 steps. We first identify the process. We identify the customer segment. We map the process from the customer's point of view. And from there, we move towards the employee action, including the technology action, which we have to take. We link the contact activities and the support functions. And finally, we add evidences at each step at the customer's action point, right? So when you create a service blueprint, you will find that, how the customer come up and ask create an ask. So whether you are just creating a new process or mapping out a existing one, you need to start with the customer service scenario. So you want to explore more and more. So it may be beneficial in terms of at this particular time to include your real customers in the conversation to ensure that your scenario is as true as customer real experience going to get. So that's very important. So the moment you have the scenarios of the customers, you map out the customer experience. So whether the scenarios you decide on plot out the action of the customers will take on the chronological order. So this goes step by step approach. And then from there, you build out the customer's action, which is once you have the full customer service experience laid out for your customers, you add other categories like front stage, backstage, support processes, physical evidence, time, and so on. And then you have a customer action, what employees do during each actions and the customer takes. So what support processes come into the play. Then we have once all the element of starting till right now, that is the customer action is known, we create a line that is clarify lanes of responsibility and action. And here we put RASI as a concept, which I have mentioned, right? So you use a different lines of separation to keep each category very clearly demarcated, illustrated, and you put the actors in place where you put the things that who will be responsible for what. So line of interaction, sometimes you will find you will interact with the service and employees. Here you also have a line of visibility. So where the employee or organizational process per se will become invisible to the customers. So they are not interested to know what at the backstage is going on. And also the line of internal action where you'll find that the various employees who don't have contact with the customers directly, they will step into the support of the service. Then we have clarifying cross-functional relationship. You need to map out each category. You add another level of details to your service blueprint by including the various arrows. You have put the things into chronological order. You identify the signages, and then you create a dependency approach, and that's how the clarity will come in. Okay, so I'm just sharing one very good example for you all. Blueprint for overnight stay, hotel stay service. Okay, so this has been taken from the service quality handbook, which was by Shoyong and Christopher. It's a a very smart American Association communication board which they created on this, and you will find a very simple aspect how they have created the physical evidence, the customers, the contact points, and the support process. And I have also highlighted here the visible and the invisible aspect, right? So let's try and understand here. Now, the physical evidence is that hotel exterior parking. So the customer arrive at hotel, right? And the physical another evidence here you will find is cart for baggage. So you give a baggage to the bell person, and then you will find the contact person will come in. So one is visible and one is invisible. So the visible person is going to greet and take the bags, right? And the moment that happens, this will go to the next step, which is on the invisible front. But the third step here is desk registration, paperwork, lobby, and the keys to be given to the customer. So the customer check-in point comes here. He completes, again, you are into the visible point. So the process registration takes place. And then from here you will get a elevator and a hallway and a room service keys. You go to your room, the cart boy will come with the baggage, and here the invisible thing will come, so how they take your bag, and it will go to your room and delivers the bag at your particular room. So again you will have a contact with the customer here, and how well you come across as a great service oriented organization or a hotel, it gets to know. And then from here you will have a room amenities and bath. That means you, let's say you sleep and shower, whatever you want to do. And then you have a menu, you have a call room service, you can give the order. Here nobody comes and take order. If you will see, you stay in a hotel, so they always take the service on the phone, order on the phone, and they serve. And then once the foods get delivered, right, now there is another support process here who prepare the food, correct? So they are the one who takes care of it, and then they provide it where the contact person will come and delivers the food. Finally, the customer receives the food. That is how the food appearances is, how does the delivery tray looks like, how warmly the contact person had taken care the need of the customers. Was he or she was warm and welcoming or not, in a great manner. So that's how it goes. You eat the food, and then accordingly you the bill desk, hotel exterior parking, you check out, you leave. Finally, visibility is the process checkout, and then the registration system, the support process which came in the check-in time, which also is going to work into the checkout time also. So they all have to be interlinked. Now you will see in this, as I mentioned, the optional support element which comes in through your turnaround time. So mostly you will find the maximum time during the check-in. If the customers are coming around 11:45, okay? So 11:45 the customer is walking in, and we all know the checkout time is 12 noon. So you will find both checkout and check-in of the customers are happening simultaneously. So how well the contact person take care of the customers and tell them that how much time is going to take, and give that consensus. So you will find they will feel very, very comfortable and happy about it. But if you will keep and make them keep waiting for it, that's how the challenge will become. And then they will start talking bad words about you. So the colorful element, I would like to give you a very simple example of a bank into the loan application, So this is how we actually designed it. I have a little bit changed it because of the, the security purpose, and all input can't be shared. But then at least I've tried to give the important aspect of the fail point, customer wait time, and employee decision. So as I mentioned, we have to take care of the decision aspect through a rhombus when we create. So let me ask the audience here, the students, after looking at this picture, what do you understand in this service blueprint? Can anyone, nominate himself or herself and just share about the process, what you get to know? So there you can see the customer is also there, the line of visibility is also there, and the backend process is also there. And I have added a one important aspect, the fail point, which is where the things can go wrong, when we don't mitigate or when we don't clarify the things. Yes. Can anyone take that initiative and explain? Anyone, just unmute yourself and share. I would like to understand from all of you that whosoever has understood the service blueprint, the design element. Yes, anyone would like to share? Yeah,
Ma'am,
Ria.
basically talking about the whole stage wherein how you submit your application. Then it's been shown that when it comes to blueprint, we try to keep every possibility into the situation, whether it can be a failure or how it will go on. So this is how it's already showing that somebody like went in for loan application, then what are the things that need to be verified. So this
Hmm.
is how it is going. So it's like a whole process which has all the parts which can't be visible to the customer for initial stage. Like for example, if I'm applying for a loan application, so I've filled a lot of things, but
Hmm.
at your end, if you are providing me the service, so that is the blueprint you have created, that my application will go through all these stages
Hmm.
to be like at the end when I'll get loan. Maybe it get declined to due to some reasons. So those reasons are also mentioned in the blueprint. So this
Very
is how
good.
it is.
Very good. Very good. I must compliment that you've taken a very good initiative and shared the very good thought process and perspective. So,
Thank you,
rightly
ma'am.
said, yes, someone else? Okay. It's very well shared about the how the loan application gets initiated, and how the customer gets loan. So you will see that, the arrow will say the loan application is there. So first element is the decision of initial screening. That is why this rhombus, whether the customer is eligible for the loan or not eligible for the loan. So we tell the customers very clearly, so there would be an initial this thing, it will take a 2 days or 3 days start or whatever. So here the first step, it could fail. Okay, so it can, so either you can decline, or either it can go to the next step of verifying the income data. So when we say how will you verify the income data, by the two, from the bank account and from the employer where the person is working, right? And then based on that, your credit check will happen looking after the database record. Again here, you will find that when we are doing a credit check, we will do a final check with the credit bureau. If the credit bureau thing is not going fine and it is not as per touching with the database record and so on, it can go into the denial mode, and it can you can, the application gets declined. The next element here is, here we have mentioned 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, and so on. Let's say credit bureau confirms, so you accept it and you notify the customer, and you notify the bank accounts also that yes, everything is going fine. Once the application is accepted, the print payment book happens, you issue a check to the customers, and that is how the things goes. And finally the the respective aspect of notifying the customer also happens. The pay book happens, the system pays the receipt, and the delinquent approach also happens. Here you confirm it and send it to the customer and makes the final payment. Again, during the final payment, if the things are not in place, it can go wrong somewhere or the other with the things are not as per the protocols, the account can be again further fail, and we have to check at the database record. So that's how it goes. But let's say if things goes fine, We close the account, and that's how the process gets executed. So you will find that line of visibility and where all the customer have to wait. So you see, when the customer is in the branch, it has to wait for almost like 30 minutes to 1 hour. And here the officer has to make it very clear to the customer that yes, it's going to take that much of time. Same very way, before the pay book is arranged, there would be a wait time to the customers. So the moment you make it very, very clear, you will find the customers becomes very comfortable about it. Okay. Now, another aspect in the service design, I am just going to give you the high level of element. When we talk about a lot of initiatives organization to take, either they apply Six Sigma, which is a concept which is a very simple definition. Okay, let me ask you all, does anyone know what is the definition of Six Sigma, or what is Six Sigma? Anyone has heard Six Sigma? Okay, it's basically 3.4 defects per million. Okay, now what do you mean by 3.4 defects per million? Which means if I am servicing 1 million customers.
Anubha, I'm just interrupting a bit. Karanjeet has something on the chat box. Do you want to talk to
Oh,
him?
really? Okay, I'll just see that. Thank you so much. In supply chain management. So Karanjit, yes, very true. It is used also in supply chain management. It is used in service sector. It is used in manufacturing industry. So it has got a lot of wide spectrum to it. So thanks, Karanjit, for sharing it. Okay, so as I mentioned, it's 3.4 defects per million. So even if let's say, as I mentioned, I'm servicing 1 million customers in a day. Okay. Out of 1 million, how many customers can be dissatisfied or irate or irritated or unhappy? Only 3.4 customers. So overall, I can say if I service 10 lakhs customers, only 3 customers would be dissatisfied. If FIIB is teaching MBA students, there are 10 lakh students, only 3 students can fail. So the process is so wonderfully designed. Here we use the concept of DMAC, that is design, measure, improve, control, analyze, and control. That's how DMAC comes in. Okay, then that's a Six Sigma. So I'm not going to go deep dive in any of the topic, but yes, I'll give you a flavor of it so you know how, in the corporate world, how service design has extended its arm into by using this various perspective. User experience that has gone beyond the screens, guys. I mean, you will find there's a lot of engagement with the customers started happening either in the form of survey or either in the form of observation, and new things have started coming up, and people have started giving up various different user experience to the people. Customer experience is again, it is how can I value my customers and how can they become my loyal customer. So the experience is so beautifully done that they don't miss out. So if I have to ask you one question, which services or the product you have really enjoyed and you can remember it till date, can anyone share that experience? If you were the customer, if you have visited in any organization or any services you have bought or any product that you have bought, and how well you were serviced as a customer, any experience that you have which you would like to share, you can use it on the chat box also. That shall be great. Pulkit, I'm going to answer you for the Six Sigma process after some time. Thanks for sharing that input on the chat box. Yes, your customer experience, please. Maybe related to the Airtel or any broadband connection, or maybe the Amazon experience if you have. Anybody? Shubham, you want to share?
Still processing.
Okay.
So, ma'am, we went to this restaurant at my birthday like 2 years back.
Hmm.
So, matlab, it's like it's a birthday, so you party all the time. But that restaurant is something which I remember. The food was really nice and the service was really nice. The waiter was not on our head watching us eating and enjoying. So,
Hmm.
yeah, that is one experience I remember.
Okay, great. Thanks, Ria, for sharing this. This is such a small thing you have mentioned. You will find when you go to any hotel, and some of the times you'll find that the guy is actually standing on the head and asking, okay, madam, ab aapko kya order lena hai. So it's quite irritating. It's quite boggling. So imagine you still remember this particular instance. That means there's something which you felt good about it. Correct? This customer experience is what we say is so very important. And if you can give an experience to the people, and if they can remember and have that recall value, trust me, your service design has given an extended aspect. The third is employee experience, so that is like how you remove the various kind of barriers for your people working within the organization, and you co-create with the workers some innovative process. So you will find that now the organization has started taking a lot of inputs from the people working in an organization, and ask them, okay, what best we can provide it to the customers, and that experience actually gets used, and that employee experience becomes a phenomenal to the the delivery of the design. Organization change is as they say, it's inevitable, and you will find thanks to pandemic nowadays huge amount of change is coming up. Imagine even COVID test you can actually get it done at sitting at home. So the changes happened, the work from home culture, and you will see that everything related to work from home aspect has changed, and that change has to be acceptable in a very great manner. It's just that how you can bring a value, which is what the organization has to work on. Process design I have already mentioned very much in detail in the in the service blueprint. But yes, when we talk about this design aspect, ensure that the measuring evidence is there. You should be measuring and working out with the turnaround time, with the processes about the input and output, and then how well that process is actually giving the maximum benefit to the customer. With this, we have a product design. So product design is again based on the kind of services the customers are looking at, and we reshape the product design. To give you an example of product design, let me help you out with the Toyota car. In this, you will find in Toyota, there all the cars have two wipers, the front screen. But Toyota, they designed the car in which only one wiper is there, ensuring the the feasibility of the product and the requirement of the service which is going to give it to the car. It is there, so that is how the physical context talks about, and then it actually helps to reduce down the cost, it reduces down the time, it reduces down the effort, and that product design leads to a better service also. We have business strategies. So strategies, sometimes we come up with the it's a role of the leaders who think from maybe a blue ocean strategy, or maybe a required strategy on an immediate basis, and they think from a sometimes bottom of the pyramid to understand how we can actually leverage the people for the best, and how can we actually come out creating a benchmarking product, benchmarking services, so that they remember us, so they create a strategy around it. And then finally we have a content strategies, which is talking about the service personality. I mean, if we see, oh, Shah Rukh Khan is using it, so I'll also use it. So if X person has become fair, I'll also use it. So that is how the extent of the content strategy goes up. All right. So that was a small element about the extended services that we have. Uh, Now we have service innovation, So as I mentioned that end of the day, we are talking about service innovation, which is involving the customers and employee. And here we use various different kind of design thinking and techniques, but end of the day what we say is competing on the services which requires a service aligned organization, so we need to compete on price or features created which creates organization that are disconnected from the customers and are silos from each other. I think we really need to move out and don't work on the silos, work on their design element. So even if you have a basic element to it, trust me, you will have a long way to go for it. So with that note, I come to an end to the session. So I will open the session for next 8 minutes for the question answer. If you want to reach out to me, you can, these are my credentials. I'm there on the all the social media and aspect. So right, yes. So the forum is now open for the question and answer. Yes. Any query, any question? So, Pulkit, I am going to share this with you about your what you shared in the chat box. 1 second, my dear. It says Six Sigma is 1 minute. Yeah. So you are saying basically Six Sigma is a process of removing waste from process and improving the service quality. So Pulkit, this concept is called lean. That's not Six
Yes, ma'am.
Sigma, right? Yeah. So that's very important to know. So the lean management talks about the removal of 8 waste, and
Mhm.
those waste are in the form of overproduction, overprocessing, wait time. So that is how there are 8 waste. I'm not going to detail. So nowadays, yes, definitely, what they have done is they have clubbed the two topics, lean, and they have clubbed the Six Sigma together. That's how it goes. Okay. Great thought. All right. Yes. Okay. Any other query question if you have?
Anybody here? Shashank, Karan, Pulkit, anybody with a question, please go ahead and use the time you have we have about 7 or 8 more minutes to talk about quickly. And Milan, I'm going to also request the students, please stay back a bit. You have to yet fill up the form and the attendance. Anybody? Ria, do you have a thought? Sangeeta?
No, ma'am. It was very informative. Thank you for the session. We
It was
loved
Most
it.
welcome. Welcome,
I
my
totally
dear.
echo on that, Ria. Thank you so much, Anubhav. It was really, really fun listening to you this.
Yeah,
I think
sorry.
I interrupted Sangeeta. Please go on, Sangeeta. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, my dear.
I said, ma'am, thank you so much for the session. I enjoyed it a
Oh,
lot.
thank you so much. Pleasure is all mine. Thank you.
Yes.
Pleasure. Anyone, if you have any query, any question about any subject, just feel free to ask, because I know that very soon you all will be a part of corporate sector and you will hear such kind of thing. Okay, so let me ask you a very quick question here. Okay, who will tell me what was the full form of RACI? RACI. Let me put it other way around. If you will not ask, let me ask.
So it's like from service design to designing services. Come on, people. Now you have to answer this one.
Okay, what was there from R? Try to remember this.
Responsibility.
Very good, very good. I'm impressed. And from A,
No idea.
accountability. A was accountability. C was
No, ma'am. Consulting.
Consulting.
Consulted. Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. Then I was
Informed.
very nice, very nice. And then I said, so Rasi is clear. So then I mentioned about two more words which got added, which was VS, right? So Rasi VS. So what was V and what was S? Yes, anybody would like to share? Okay, so from V, the one who verifies.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Verification. Yeah.
Good, good, good. And what was S?
And we
Sign
don't
off.
remember this, I think.
Sign off. Sign off.
Sign off. Oh,
Right? Okay. And now, quickly, who will tell me the full definition of Six Sigma? What was the Six Sigma? Six Sigma. How many defects per million?
Ma'am, 3.4.
Very good. Beautiful is the word. Thank you so much. Fantastic. I must compliment. Good. So as I see, I mean, there was a lot of insight, a lot of things which been shared. But yes, keep learning, keep growing. And if you have any query and question, I have shared my Linktree details, and you can just click on it, and you can get connected with me in any of the professional medium. That's what I'll say. Okay. So with that note, thank you so very much. All to you, Man. please.
Thank you once again, Anubha. It's a big thank you for sharing all of your insights and all of the invaluable experiences, right from banking to, I mean, you went ahead and you actually talked about even the hotel industry and the blueprint. It was so amazing. I'm sure a lot of clarity came into into the session with all of those illustrations.
Pleasure.
So thank you, and of course you've shared your IDs and your link. So thank you so much for that. In case anybody has things we want to, I'm sure they'll have afterthoughts. So we'll connect with you for sure on this one.
Perfect. Great. So thank you so very much, and let's stay connected and keep rocking and have a wonderful 2021 now. Okay.
thank
So
you
with
so
that,
much, ma'am. Same to
thank
you.
you. Thank you so much, Ria. Pleasure. Thank